Was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this old world and this old life provides? So much alone, so clear, he's seen that there's more to.
And you may have seen the video, me in my underwear with plenty of good friends in their underwear as well. The song was called I'm No Prize, and you can currently hear it on iTunes and philputnam.com. And thanks for watching. I wouldn't recommend believing what you see. I wouldn't trust how you feel. 'Cause right now you're thinking that I'm quite a fine, a handsome and witty and real. I can't disagree, my dear, but give us a few more dates and I guarantee that the reasons that you give for wanting me now are the reasons you're gonna flee. I'm no prize, I'm exactly the way you see me now. A carnival toy with a smile, like foamy rubber things that grow in water overnight. It's fun to watch me rise. Whoa, whoa, but I'm no prize. You swear the manner of man that I am is the kind of man you can't live without. But it's a drug, it's a high, it's hello and goodbye. And what goes up has to come down. I'm no prize, what you see is exactly what you get. Chatty and bratty and sharp, and I swear to you on Elton John's pink feather chaps, fantastic on the thighs. Whoa, whoa, but I'm no prize. I'm just trying to save you some time. I'm just trying to save myself another breakup line. I'm no prize. All my baggage is matching and packed, but mostly I'm just me. Like Christmas morning after all the novelty is gone. Tinsel and lights. Whoa, whoa, but no prize. I got the remnants of my confidence just scissor kicking by. I ain't gonna lie, no, 'cause I'm the boy who everybody wants and the one nobody keeps. And that's just the way it flies. Whoa, I'm no prize. Thank you.
Welcome back to Talking About, our musical guest, Phil Putnam. My name is Cara Kilduff, and we have in the studio tonight actor, writer, filmmaker, Charles Casillo. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's good to be here again.
It's always good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just get down to
Let's
it,
go.
because I was cyber stalking you today,
Oh.
and I'm sorry.
That was you?
Yes, again, I'm sorry. But you've recently made a film that's making the rounds, the independent film circuit, and it's called Let Me Die Quietly.
Yes.
And it's a new, edgy, stylish, low-budget indie thriller. And, well, that's what...
You got it, yeah.
That's
pretty
what
much.
yeah, but the trailer was awesome. So maybe you
you.
can tell our viewers what Let Me Die Quietly is about.
Well, it's about, on the surface, because I try, when I try to write on a lot of different levels. So on the surface, I mean, the basic plot is it's about two psychics who meet, who are seeing aspects of the same murder, but different sides of it, different aspects of it. So they meet randomly and they decide that perhaps together they can solve this murder and stop a serial killer. So that's the basic plot of it. But on other levels, I try to make it about deception and loneliness and passion and murder and all those great things that film noirs of the 1950s were about. I tried to modernize it and bring it into a contemporary setting.
Very nice. So what were some of your inspirations for when you were writing the script for this?
Well, as I just said, I always loved film noir, those dark melodramas of the 50s, the shadowy characters and not knowing where the twist is going to come. That was a really big influence on me. I love those twisty-turny films of the 50s and 40s. And also Hitchcock.
Yeah.
I love when a story slowly unfolds and, you know, the sinister isn't right in your face. And the splatter and the guts and the blood, like a lot of contemporary horror films are. I like when it's a little bit, you know, you have to use your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the imagination can hold much more than the image sometimes.
yeah,
If you plan a suggestion, and the mind fills in the gaps, it can do wonders.
absolutely. I totally agree. Like movies like Rosemary's Baby, where you never actually really see the horror, but it's just implied.
Yeah.
And you know, you're made to fill that in. I mean, that is what was an inspiration for me to do that kind of a thriller. But also, it was a necessity because I was doing a very low budget. So I knew off the bat that there wasn't going to be any buildings on fire or shower of bullets or exploding cars or that sort of thing. So you really have to rely on the
Oh my
story.
God, wait, you wrote a real story?
A story.
You're not
Yeah,
relying on devices to, oh my God.
You know, I know it's breaking against formula, and it's taking a huge chance. But you know, yeah, character-driven, plot-driven. You really are at the mercy of your actors to create a chemistry within them to hold the audience's attention. And you know, it was fun to do, but it was also it tests your creativity to be able to do that, to write a movie where, you know, we all know that the attention span of today's audience, I'm not even excluding myself in that.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like, do we sit down? How many people sit in a corner and read Anna Karenina? You know, I mean, it's like we just want the outline, the plot
Cliff
outline.
notes.
The cliff notes. Give me the cliff notes of Anna. Well, how does that end?
But you're an accomplished author, so in approaching the screenplay as opposed to a novel, how did that alter your process?
Well, I mean, it wasn't only the changing of being a novel to a screenplay, it was also the changing of what we're talking about, the attention span. I mean, because, you know, even if you go back 15 years ago, if you were sitting on a New York subway, everyone was reading.
Yeah.
You know, now what are they doing? They're playing games or they're checking their messages.
Right.
No one it's the attention span thing. So it was a real challenge to go from when I started writing, my career, the whole publishing business has changed. I mean, my career is totally in an upheaval, and I think that goes with all my contemporaries, where we started writing in the mid-'90s or the early '90s, and now it's totally different because of the internet and blogs and Twitter, where you know you're just getting the emotion without the build-up or the decline of the build-up and the aftermath. So we're all kind of finding our way. I'm just feeling my way through it. I mean, I have to be true to myself as a writer and tell the story.
Right.
So in that way, it hasn't changed that much from writing a novel. I mean, I want to tell the story. I want to develop the characters. I want to get my feelings across, my point across, and what the original concept was. Writing for the screen was different. I learned a lot from writing a screenplay. I mean, I know what 4 pages of dialogue looks like on the screen. It's very different from what it looks like on a page.
We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
Well, what was that like? I mean, you wrote this movie, you're co-producing it, and you're co-starring in it. I mean, was it difficult for you to manage wearing all the different hats, or did you find that it was kind of seamless for you?
I think for me it was difficult, but it was a necessity. I mean, no one was knocking on my door with a film role. And I started as an actor. I wanted to act. And time was going by and I was getting older and, you know, I was being successful as a writer. I always wanted to make a movie. That was always my number one thing on my to-do list in life. And I had tried several times in the past, but, you know, doing it on film, the expenses and raising the money just seemed so impossible. But now, in the past 5 years with HD and people editing movies on their computer and making movies on their computer, it seemed possible. So I said, now is the time to do it. If you're going to do it, now's the time. Yeah. So I put aside a year to make a film, to write it and act in it because I wanted to act in a film. It was very different than what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of this was going on. Just you're a returning visitor to the show, so the stage is not unfamiliar to you. And you know, you shared parts of your journey in just getting the film made with me. And what are some of the obstacles that you didn't expect in getting it done? Because I know, while the end product is phenomenal, it was quite a journey getting there.
Yeah, I think that the number one thing was, the first thing was that everyone that I met who was in the film world said that it's impossible and don't do it. You can't make a film on no budget. And I had no budget to begin with. But because I got people on board because of the script, a number of people came on board and they were willing to work for free or put up equipment or give their talents, directors, actors, producers. That got me started. But the other thing that was an obstacle was that everyone has a different level. Like, everyone thinks that they're the ultimate. Everyone thinks that they're the ultimate in dedication. People will come to you and say, I'm so dedicated. I'm an actor, and I will be here 100% of the time. It's my life.
Right.
It's my life. But compared to what scale? You know, what is the scale that you're weighing it against? So you know what it really is, the commitment and responsibility to say that I'm going to be there to make a feature-length film. No one knew. I didn't know what it was going to be going into it, but I knew that it was what I wanted to do, and I was willing to give up anything that came in the path to stop me from doing it. Other people's ambition is a little less. So all the different, when you have no money to pay, and there's not a huge budget, that's the biggest obstacle, to get people to come on board and stick with you and believe in you and believe in the project and see it through to completion. I was lucky that halfway through, or not even before halfway through, I got a producer, Kelvin Dale, who came on with some money, and then you know, money talks, and then people became more interested in staying on and seeing it through.
Right.
Well, the movie's been playing in film festivals across the country now, and what have you learned from the festival experience?
It's a learning experience, just like making the film. I came in blind. I think that's a good way, though, in a way, because you don't see the obstacles. So when they come, you face them head on. The festival circuit it's weird because independent films, for example, is one thing that I learned. What is the definition of independent film today? There is no definition.
Right.
I mean, studios are putting out films that cost $8 or $10 or $15 million and calling it independent because it sounds edgy or underground, and they're putting it in festivals, and they're putting it up against people like me who made a film on credit cards and borrowing people's locations and no one getting paid to do it. And how could you compete? So that was a major thing I learned. There is no definition for what an independent film is, going back to the days when Spike Lee did She's Gotta Have It, or you know, David Lynch, or you know, people like that, Gus Van Sant, you know, when they really made these, what is really called independent of a studio system, outside of that funding and all of that, and calling in every favor that you can. I think that was one of the major things I found in going into the festival circuit, was that what is independent today? We don't really have a word. We have to come up with a new one for what a film like Let Me Die Quietly.
Just because, Super Ginormous Studios has a tiny little subdivision called Artsy Fartsy Pictures. And they funnel the $20 million into Artsy Fartsy, and they call it their independent
and they
arm.
have big names people in it. Right. You know, and
that are getting their full salary.
Right. And the festivals want the big name people because the people that are putting up the money to sponsor the festival want the big name so that it'll get the publicity. So
it defeats the purpose.
It's really difficult for up-and-coming filmmakers and artists to find a platform nowadays. I mean, I think that Sundance and Tribeca started out with good intentions, but like everything else, it got corrupt somewhere along the way.
Well, what is the? I watched the trailer. You guys, it was awesome. You have to check this out. And I have a bunch more questions for you. Just I'm jazzed about it. And what has the reaction to your movie been like? What have people been telling you after they see it?
It's been very interesting. I mean, I think that any sensitive artist has doubts, and they want the feedback of the audience.
Yeah.
But I think that as you mature, you learn that you have to just be satisfied with it yourself. I think that really sophisticated, intelligent winner audiences love the movie, and that's what's important to me. You'd have to be an idiot to go into this movie and think that you're getting a Michael Douglas Hollywood thriller. And if you're expecting that kind of bells and whistles movie, then you're not going to get it. But if you like European films, for example, if you're a moviegoer, an average moviegoer that watches a French neo-noir, and you come to this movie, you're going to love it because it's subtle, and because it builds, and because it's something that you have to think about. It's a thinking man's thriller. So, I mean, what I've been learning is that, it depends on audiences. Like in Cleveland, where we ran, I got a lot of enemies in Cleveland, I'm really sorry. I was in a film festival there, and in the first 7 minutes, people got up and walked out because it's a little controversial and it's a little homoerotic. So, and the homoerotic content is introduced in the beginning, and they were so put off by that. But yet I won an award there for Best Suspense Thriller. So, like, I don't know what to believe anymore. It's like, really, you just have to go on your instincts and just, if you like it, no one's going to love your work like you do.
Well, I mean, you put years of your heart and soul into it, so and every bit of that shows. And the positive responses, I'm sure, by far overshadow the idiots that did that.
Yeah, well, yes.
They share a collective brain.
The positive outlook has far outweighed the negative, but, I don't hear the positive. I only go straight to the negative. But, they're not idiots in the sense that, like, we all have different tastes. I mean, if you like slasher, horror, zombie films, that's your taste. I mean, you can't say that it's any better than mine or, that's just a matter of opinion.
Well, do you have any screenings coming up in this area where people could possibly, like me, check it out?
I do. We're playing on October 8th at the New Filmmakers Film Festival, which is at the Filmmakers Anthology Archives on 2nd Avenue.
Nice.
That's October 8th. And a lot of other ones. I want to get into some European film festivals too, because, like I said, I think it really has a European flavor, and particularly in the UK, I'm trying to get into the UK. I've got a lot of good, very wise people out there who are looking out for it. So.
Yeah, well, I've checked out your fan page, and you do have a huge following in the UK.
The UK.
Yes.
What is it about me in London? I got to get there. Yeah. Shout out to Jacqueline.
I was just thinking about her because I see her name come up all the time. So, Jacqueline, we love you because she's a fan of this show as well.
Yes. She's got good taste.
Well, do we have?
Yeah. Well, we have a few more minutes.
Oh, we do. All right. Wait. Can I? Do you have any? What other projects do you have going on? What's next? When all is said and done? Because I'm excited about you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited about you, and I'm excited to be here. I would like for this movie, which is taking all my energy right now and time, I'd like it to be a platform and a doorway open to being in the film industry. That's what I really want to do. I've always loved film. Not just in the way that I love to watch it. I mean, my dream when I was 8 years old was to be a filmmaker in all parts of it. I mean, I was storyboarding at 7. I always like to draw, and I would draw scenes from a film, what would make a good film and all of that. So, I mean, I really want to be part of the filmmaking world. I love it so much, much more than anything else. Just being on the set is so exciting to me.
You're passionate.
I'm very passionate. Isn't that the driving force of everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with so many films that are all style over substance, you've got a good heart, a good substantive heart in your work, and you have style to back it up too.
I hope so. Thank you. I try. I mean, we're living in an age of formulaic movies. Everyone is like, it's kind of like a cow mentality of America. They have to be told what's good. So I think that for somebody who doesn't want to follow the cow
Right.
trail. You have to work extra hard to get attention. And I mean, I don't mind working extra hard. I don't mind, but all I have to offer that's unique is myself, which makes it a little bit more difficult because I don't fit into a niche. When I'm selling the movie or selling myself or selling a book, I can't really say, well, it's this kind of a genre or it's that kind of a film. I mix genres, I mix niches, I mix themes. And, you know, you're either for me or you're not. I've always been that kind of a person. People have a very immediate reaction. It's that way in my work, too, you know?
Well, yeah, the reaction on this stage is always positive.
That's why I keep coming back.
Is there a DVD release scheduled as yet?
No, we don't have a. We're holding off on any kind of distribution plan until we play the circuit. We're going to go the
Okay.
whole festival circuit and see, you know, keep getting the feedback and keep seeing what we've got to do. I'm always making little adjustments. I just made a cut last week because someone said that a particular. I heard more than once that a particular scene ran on a little too long, so I went back and I cut a couple of seconds out of it. So yeah, it's a learning process. I mean, every time you get in front of an audience, you learn something. So probably by the end of the year, we'll
Okay.
be ready, and we'll be ready to make a deal and have a release.
Okay, and as soon as that's available, we'll have that on our webpage as well. Is there a webpage for the film?
Yes, there is. LetMeDieQuietly.com. You can get all the information you want there. We also have a MySpace page, which is MySpace Let Me Die Quietly. And then there's, you know, you can just Google my name and a whole bunch of, hopefully. I hope. I haven't Googled lately. I haven't Googled myself lately, but yeah.
I Google myself on a regular basis.
Go Google yourself, crazy kids.
So do you have the next project in the works, or at least the seed of the idea? I know your heart and your soul is in this right now, but do you have a few seeds?
I do have a seed. I want to do a short film. Just
Okay.
because I want immediate gratification. Talking about Googling quickly, I want a quick Google. I want
Sounds
something
dirty.
immediately. Yeah, so I'm working on a short film,
Okay.
and I want a week long production of it, and then get it on the festival circuit next year. But it's cool. It's fun. It's everything that I am. It's a little dirty. It's a little controversial. So that's what is on my agenda for next.
Okay, so in the last 2 minutes that we have together, is there anything that you want to get across to the audience?
Burning desire.
Burning desire.
Well, no. I mean, I want to say that I thought that the last song that I was listening to of the performer here, Paul Putnam,
Phil
Phil.
Putnam.
Phil Putnam, I thought it was terrific. I thought the song was really great. I felt that I really plugged into the content of the lyrics and everything, and I think that's...
Well, as a writer, yeah, how do you compare and contrast the lyrics with your process?
I just think that he's doing it quicker. He's just going to the gut. It's like a kick. You know, he's getting it much quicker than the buildup is much faster. But I just, you know, I've always loved talent and creativity, and I've always liked to recognize it when I come across it. And I just, you know, I was just sitting here waiting for us to start, and I thought it was great. So I thought I would, you know, that I should mention that. I thought that song was great.
Okay. Final thoughts?
It was a pleasure to talk to you, Charles. I really enjoyed talking to you.
It was
and
my pleasure.
I can't wait to see. I'm gonna come.
You're
to the
gonna come on
screen.
October 8th?
I have to.
Okay.
I have to.
Good.
I'm gonna be there.
Okay, and your website again?
Charles Casillo, myspace.charlescasillo.com.
Okay, and for the film, Let Me Die Quietly?
Let Me Die Quietly, which is something we all want to do. So that's how you can remember it. Let Me Die Quietly.
.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go quietly into the good night.
Okay, and Cara, where can people find out more about you? It's always great having you sit
Well,
in
thanks
the
for
host chair.
having me. It's been fun. I have a new website that's very skeletal, so it's very basic, you guys. It's carakilduff.com, and I'll be performing at the New York Comedy Club tomorrow night for the 8 o'clock show.
Okay, and all future dates will be on your website, and more information
Yes.
is available. And there is a whole lot of great stuff on our website, which is www.talkingabout.info. You can find a whole bunch of shows, podcast segments, Whole lot of good stuff there. And we do have a new website because we are in the podcast arena now. So if you want to catch us on iTunes and subscribe, talkingabout.itunes.com, plain and simple. Thank
Very
you,
cool.
thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And we're going to send you out with one more song. Our special musical guest, Phil Putnam, is going to play us out and sing us out. And I want to thank him again for being here, and we will see you next time.
Lately I've been thinking that maybe it's just as you said. It must be time to change. Can you tell by the disappointed look on my face? Reasons are harder to find. There's something I'm leaving behind. This dream took a decade to make, but it's fragile and flimsy and it's starting to break. I've been running hard to catch every piece that's falling apart. But lately I've been thinking that maybe some knots are better untied. Yeah, lately I've been thinking that maybe it's just as you said. It seems that you're right. Answers for questions will put up a fight. I didn't want to say that I wonder how life could ever get this way. And lately I've been thinking that maybe some knots are better untied. Lately I've been thinking that maybe it's just as you said, and I could just let it go and stop overstating the things I don't know. But it's not that easy, and it's not that hard to be uncertain again.